I'm Aryeh Schwartz, along with my co-host, Rachel Galligan, and welcome to the Winsidr show, where it's all about the W. This episode, we have a cult hero and a fan favorite. If you like our show, please consider joining our Patreon community. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you can directly show support for the hard work that we do covering the W. Like I said, this episode, we have a cult hero and a fan favorite. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'd like to welcome Sophie Cunningham to the show. Sophie, welcome, and how's it going?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So something that I'm sure you've been asked every time, so we'll get it out of the way early. Can you talk to me about the transition of going from the NCAA to the WNBA?
Yes. Well, let me tell you, it is night and day, but it's a good night and day. It's your rookie season, and there's a lot of highs, there's some lows, and it's just a huge transition. I mean, you come from a college team that you're the best player, you're the go-to player, and then you come onto a team, which I'm very blessed to, with some goats on the team. I mean, I'm playing with Taurasi, Brittany Griner, Duana Bonner. And I mean, those are some goats of our game. And so, my role looks a little different, but I'm being a sponge. I'm trying to soak up all the knowledge I can. But it's been awesome. I've learned a lot, and just kind of seeing them play in person and being on their team, it's been a great experience so far.
Sophie, you mentioned goats on this team, which no one's going to necessarily argue that. And I can speak for so many people. When it was announced that you were going to Phoenix, so many of us were like in complete awe of the fact of having you and Taurasi out on the court together. You learning under Taurasi, two players with like a severe amount of edge to them, which I personally love so much. Talk a little bit about what has it been like playing with her, learning under her? I mean, I know you haven't gotten a chance to play a ton, but what has it been like being with her day in and day out? What has she taught you?
Yeah, it is funny because in college, I had that edge, and I still have it, but I haven't really gotten to shown it yet. And so that's still in my back pocket, and people are waiting to see it, and I'm ready to show it whenever. But it's been really great. I mean, in training camp, you're just learning so much. You're learning a new system. You're learning new plays, and you're seeing what other players can do. So there's just so much learning within that training camp time. That I just kind of felt overwhelmed, and like I'm not someone who is good when I have to think about stuff. And she finally pulled me inside one day, and she's like, so she's like, you have been playing probably since you can remember. She goes, like you're a stud, you know what to do. Like, go out there and have fun, go play. And she goes, just remember to always stay ready. But at the end of the day, you're doing what you love. You have the best job in the world. Just go out there and have fun. And it's funny that she said that because my mom and dad always used to say that. They're like, you put in the work, and you know what you can do. Now it's time to go out there, have fun, show your emotion, and go laugh and smile, go enjoy the game. And so it's pretty cool that she also told me that, though.
Yeah. So was that kind of a pivotal moment for you in this early, in your young career as you were adjusting to that? Is that kind of a pivotal moment where you felt like it kind of eased up on you a little bit?
Yes, for sure. Because I mean, a lot of people know that there's not a lot of WNBA players who get drafted and stick in the W. And people who go to Mizzou, it's new, and it was kind of new for all of us. And so I was kind of like that guinea pig to be the first to do it, And so I didn't have a lot of help of what to expect from training camp. And so I was kind of just thrown in with the wolves, but it was good for me. I'm glad I did it. But now, I'm comfortable. I'm confident. My teammates are starting to believe in me and trust me more and more. And I mean, the other day I got a flagrant, so I got fined. And so I came back, and Diana was like, "Hey, I love it." And she goes, "And honestly, I'll pay for every time you get fined." I'm like, "Well, mark your words then, because it's coming."
Right. Well, you mentioned Missouri. We're talking about kind of transition a little bit. One thing, just from me having my coaching eyes on, one of the biggest changes I've seen within you, just with even the last 6 months, has been your body and the leanness of your body.
Mhm.
Has your nutrition changed since you entered the WNBA? Can you talk on that a little bit?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I've always I've always wanted to eat healthy, but like at the end of the day, I always find myself like eating McDonald's, eating Taco Bell, eating something fast. But out
Mhm.
here in Phoenix, I mean, our practice and our training camp, it was like literally right in the middle of the day. So I literally only ate one meal a day, and it was massive. It was huge. It probably wasn't the healthiest. But now that I'm kind of getting my routine out here, I have actually uh, been more aware of what I've been eating, and so yeah, I've been doing better with that. But then again, I'm also a rookie, and you don't really get much breaks, and so you're constantly running at practice, and so I think that's kind of helped me lean out a little bit too. But I do feel quicker, and everyone's like, "You look quicker." I'm like, "Well, I feel quicker, so it's good. It's good for
Well,
me."
that's good. That's great.
Yeah.
So, Sophie, talk to me. You've been playing basketball your whole life, like you said, from
Mhm.
pre-K to the pros. What stands out as your favorite basketball moment of your career?
Oh man, that's hard. That's really hard. I'm just gonna throw in there though, for
Well,
maybe the younger people or the parents who are listening, that I didn't just play basketball my whole life. I did soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, golf, swimming, horseback riding,
football.
and
You played
probably some
football.
in oh soccer, yeah, soccer, football. So like me and my sister, we did it all, and I think it helps you not get burnt out. It helps like with soccer, it helps with your footwork and it helps with your agility. So all these little things kind of help me become where I am today. So I think try to play as many sports as possible. But I think that my favorite basketball moment, well, I have a couple. Um, One was my junior year uh, in college, and we played Tennessee at home, and we set the attendance record, and it was just like my childhood dream coming true. I mean, the gym was fully packed, and I had a really good game, and it just felt like my dreams came true right there. And then of course the South Carolinas when we beat them at home, the buzzer beater, all that kind of stuff. But we don't have to get all into that either.
We won't go there. We won't go there. Um, so, you know, one of the things I think that's so fascinating about you, outside of your versatility and kind of about playing different sports and not getting burnout, I think that's so important to hear. A
Mhm.
professional athlete say something like that, because I do think there's a lot of weight with that. But I want to talk about your family, and I want to switch gears from that. You have a very close knit family. You grew
Mhm.
up on a farm, or at least working on a farm.
Yep.
Can you tell the listeners, fans of the WNBA, about that and what kind of that work ethic has instilled in you?
Yes. So yeah, my background probably looks a little different than a lot of professional athletes. I mean, uh, a lot of these players, they have professional athletes as parents, and my family was not that. But we were farmers, and it's a different type of work hard. And so I grew up on a farm with 25 horses.
Oh gosh.
My dad was a contractor in Colombia, and my mom worked for the governor. And so um, my grandparents so we had 25 horses at our house, and then when we kind of got into sports and got busy with that, we moved into town, Columbia, and so we moved all our horses out to my grandparents, and they live in Williamsburg, Missouri. A little shout out. And
There
they
you go.
farm, yeah, and they farm 2,500 acres of soybean and corn, and so it's a lot. But I think that um, farmers just have a different work ethic. I mean, it's a job that's not pretty. You're in the heat, you're in the cold, but it has to get done. And so I just felt like nothing was ever given to me, and I've always had to work for everything that I've ever accomplished. And I kind of look back at my family, and it's like the same thing. And I don't regret it. I wouldn't change a thing. We're just blue collared. Um, Hardworking people, and I really have. It hasn't been easy, like I said, but I've had a great support system. I mean, my grandparents, when I lived in Columbia, they didn't miss a game since I was in sixth grade, and
Wow.
so and it was one game because they were at a funeral, at one of their friends, and so when we have grandparents like that and people from Kansas City, and just surrounding family members and our friends coming out of the woodworks, it really does kind of make you want to put on for your city even more because you have so much support system. And like I said, I've been very blessed to have such a positive and big support system because it is not easy to do what we do, but I am very lucky to have them.
So I gotta ask you, I believe I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, you and your sister have some pigs named after you. And
Oh yeah.
now in Minnesota, when you've really hit like celebrity fame, we do butter sculptures. Have you ever had a butter sculpture made of you?
I have not.
Who asked that question? What is wrong with you?
That
It's
is
a
so
si-
funny. Well, I mean, when you come from a farming community, you never know what's gonna show up. And so, I mean, I kind of represent, and I'm proud of where I come from. And I'm like, you know what? For this fun fact, everyone's like, oh, like I like Snickers, like that's my fun fact. I'm like, okay, screw that. Like I'm going for it. And so, when I went out there, I was like, my grandpa still makes fun of me because I know how to drive a combine. But like I'm not out there actually like driving the combine, if you know what I'm saying. And so I'm trying to get endorsed by John Deere. I'm trying to do all that kind of stuff. But
Yes.
no, that was so funny, and the EU apparel hit me up, and so yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, John
Oh,
Deere,
gosh.
give her that endorsement. Let's go. We need it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll make sure I'll give you a shout out on Twitter too. See if we can get this done.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Sophie, it wouldn't be a conversation with you without touching on the elephant in the room, which is great because I hear elephants are your favorite animals.
I like how you did that.
Love them. Uh-huh.
I told you, I'm on it, man.
Yep.
I've got
You
my
are.
insiders. So the dirty player, and for the record, we did see the play the other night. Aryeh and I both have our own opinions on what we think that play looked like, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it out on record right now. I have watched you play since you were in high school, when I was coaching college, and all through your collegiate career. And I don't know if it's a loyalty to my friends at Missouri or whatnot, but whatever it is, regardless, for the record, Sophie Cunningham is not a dirty player. Okay, and if anybody wants to combat that, feel free to come at me. I really don't care.
Well, I
But
just
I
don't
do
like
not
how
think
you,
you're a dirty player.
wait a second, Rachel, you presented it like I think she is.
No. All right, no. He doesn't either. You can give your voice after this, but I'm gonna go at everybody on Twitter who's coming at her because I don't like it. And because I'm saying this because in order to be considered dirty, there has to be a level of intention there, and I have never seen a level of intention there from you in terms of being dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just aggressive. You are a highly aggressive player with an edge to you. We talked about it earlier in the show. You're unapologetically yourself. Does it sometimes get a little bit into the gray area? Of course. Are you sometimes going to get picked up for a flagrant? Yeah, that's going to happen. But to call you a dirty player, I will vigorously disagree with until the day I die. All right, Aryeh, go.
Okay. So
well, thank you.
I personally don't think you are either. I think it's completely blown out of proportion. But I think that element that you bring not only to your style of play, but to the league is insanely important for the growth of this league. And that's been something that I've stood strong on for a very long time, which brings me up to my question, which is, and I have to ask this, do you think there's more trash talk in the W or in college basketball?
Oh my gosh, I think it's college, and I'm surprised.
Really?
Actually, hold on, let me take that back. When you have Taurasi on your team, then there's a lot of trash talk. But other teams just don't, and maybe it's because we haven't been in like too much of a physical game yet. But I honestly think that SEC was actually right now for me so much more physical than the W lets you be. And I don't know if they're trying to prevent the trash talk or what, but my style of play is like rolling up my sleeves and getting down and dirty. That's I'm gonna outwork you. I'm aggressive, and like you guys said, I'm not gonna apologize for the player that I am. And like you said, there's always room for me to grow and get better and learn from. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? And I'm reflecting on myself, but there's never. I'm not dirty, and I think people don't like me because I'm an annoying player and I'm never going to stop. I don't care what the score is. Like, I'm feisty and I'm competitive, and I show some stuff, and I will also say this, and I know people are going to probably go at me for saying this, but I don't start stuff. I respond to stuff. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you say something to me, I'm saying something right back to you. But like I don't start
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And so my play, my physicality might start something in their head, but I've never this is how I play. I don't know, but I really do appreciate you guys saying that. And people can call me dirty, you can call me whatever you want, but at the end of the day, like, I'm me. I'm not going to change because you don't like the way I play, and I'm at the highest level for a reason. And so say what you want, but I'm Sophie, and I'm staying with what I have always been.
Well, and if you didn't have that element to you, you wouldn't be where you're at right now. I mean, we all can agree on that. And people are going to have their opinions, and I understand that as well. But how do you, because I know you are a very faith-filled person. You seem like a very kind and generous, loving person. I'm curious, does that weigh on you? I know you've kind of dealt with this criticism for a few years now. And it kind of comes with the territory with how you play. But how do you handle that?
Yeah, so I think my first time ever like really questioning, because my faith is super important to me, and it's so funny that people on other teams think I'm like the meanest, like the worst person ever. Because honestly, like I love people. I love meeting new people. I love helping. I love getting out in the community. I love doing all that type of stuff. But they don't see that because they just see the competitive side of Sophie. And it's like when I step in the lines, I'm a completely different person than I am outside of basketball. But I think my first time having to kind of handle and like reflect and really know what I'm trying to get done and who I'm supposed to be happened after the South Carolina game when I had to get rid of social media. I just kind of was like, I kind of feel bad because like I'm not a bad person, but when you hear all that stuff and that's all you're reading, it does kind of make you think like, what do people think I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
And so my family was great. My sister actually got like 30 to 40 members of my family, and they all wrote me a card, like a short little note, and my sister attached a picture to it, and she wrote out a big thing, and I'll make it short, but all she said was like, if these people were the only ones judging you, and these people know who you are on and off the court, and if don't worry about what anyone else thinks unless it's these 40 people. And it was really nice. It kind of brought me to tears a little bit, and I don't like to do that because I don't cry. I'm tough, but but it was just super nice because I mean those people know who I am. They know where my heart's at, and so I didn't care what people thought. I mean, I think that just really helped to have her support and my family's support.
That's amazing to hear. I want to ask you real quick, one of our last questions. What is your top of your career goals? Like when you leave the W, what do you want your legacy to be?
That's a tough question. It is a tough question, but I see these players and I know my capabilities, and I know that I'm going to be putting extra work, and I just feel like I can make a dent in this league. And I think my biggest thing is I just want to leave people with the impression that I'm confident, I'm feisty, but at the end of the day, like I'm here to inspire and impact young kids to do what they want. It doesn't have to be basketball. It can be whatever their niche is, if it's music, dance, math, science, any of that. But go out there and be the hardest worker, and don't forget to enjoy it. Make sure you smile, make sure you laugh, and try to treat others how you want to be tweeted or tweeted, not tweeted.
That works in today's modern day.
yeah, right. But I don't really know what my legacy is, but right now I think I just want to impact people's lives in a very positive way. And I think in this world, in this society today, that people just want to latch on to something that's good and something that's positive, and that's what I'm trying to do with my platform.
Well, Sophie, I can tell you that you are well on your way with that. You have impacted thousands of lives, even in this early point of your career. We thank you so much for being on the show, getting to know you a little bit more, letting the fans get to know you. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Oh, well, thank you. And I really appreciate meeting you guys too.
Yes, it's been awesome. We believe the players of the WNBA and its community deserve the same in-depth analysis and respect that men's sports receive on a daily basis. In that regard, please consider joining our Patreon community to help support us in the hard work that we do. Thank you.